Okay. Any second
In a
now.
world of endless noise, one sound cuts through. GC Radio Hub. Your world, your sound. Imagine your favorite voices following you everywhere. From your smartphone to your car, your smart TV, even your virtual assistant. GC Radio Hub connects you to a universe of content. Check out our wonderful interviews on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, live music shows and podcasts. All at your fingertips. Android TV, Apple TV, Roku, Fire Stick TV. We're there wherever you are, because the only way to stay connected is to get connected. Download the GC Radio Hub app today and let your world come alive.
Hey everybody, how you doing? This is your favorite cousin Chief, your favorite station, KGCR 106.1, your digital dial. And today I have the one and only legendary comedian, actor extraordinaire, Brian Hooks in the building with me. B, how you doing today, brother?
Yay! What's good, man? I can't complain, man. Excited to be here. I heard, all kind of amazing, dope things about your show and everything you're doing, man. So, sure, I'm blessed.
Man, it's an honor to have you here, bro. It's an honor to have you here, man. It's been a minute since I saw you, man. It's many years ago we worked on that movie, Basketball 316.
Yeah. Back in the day. Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah. Man, when I say the name B Hooks, man, a lot of people remember you from the movie Three Strikes. A lot of people remember you from being on the TV show with Eve. And I remember a whole bunch of other shows that you was on, some other movies, man. And I've always been a fan, and I just love your creativity, man. When you play a character, you kind of typecast that character and you bring it to life, because throughout the whole movie, you like, what are you gonna do next? What are you gonna do? He gonna fart? He gonna burp? What are you gonna do next? I mean, you draw us in, bro. You draw us in, and that's a hell of a skill, man. That's a hell of a skill.
No, man, you try to bring, authenticity and a piece of yourself, when you're acting. I think, sometimes I think with bad acting, you're trying to be, or you're reaching for the joke, or you're overdoing this and that. But I think one of the reasons why people sort of dig what I do is I always bring a part of my authentic self through the role, no matter how crazy the role is or how grounded the role is. And I think that's what folks identify with, man. And that's what I was, with the Three Strikes and everything else. I think people always feel like, yo, I know that dude. You know what I mean? Because it's so true to the streets and so true to who we are as human beings. You know what I mean? It's not a caricature. Like, that's a real dude. Like, I know him. He stay around the corner from me. And that's where the love has come from, man.
Wow, man, amazing. So let the people that know of you from TV, let them know about you. Where were you born and what was it like growing up, man?
I was born in Bakersfield, California, man, a little country town. I didn't know it was country when I was young. I shit out there. Want a liquor store, a cul-de-sac, 3, 4, 5 schools or whatever it was in Bakersfield at the time. That was all we knew, man. So I'm born and raised there, man. I wouldn't do it any other way. I think it was a foundation that I was able to build being coming up in, this small little city, little country town in the middle of California. And that's where the foundation was laid, man. And I think that has, that hometown essence has stuck with me throughout my growth and me, becoming a young man and a man and a grown man over the years and navigating Hollywood, man. I've always been able to sort of ground myself in that foundation built, that my mom and dad sort of planted for me, and and put that fertilizer soil, and I was able to grow into, a grown man who got some good sense and understands that, the many blessings that have come. Just cherish them and stay grounded, stay focused, man. But Bakersfield was a hell of a town. I go back often, that's me, man.
So what was it like, growing up as young B Hooks, man? Like elementary, junior high school. When did you know you wanted to act or be comical? I mean, how did it come about?
I didn't know. I didn't even know it was a thing from Bakersfield that could be done. You know what I mean? So there are no outlets for you being an actor. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? There's no thespian, uh, resources in Bakersfield. I was playing sports, man, baseball, basketball, football, and honestly, I was like, yo, I'm going pro in baseball. You know what I mean? That was my
Right.
thing, and I was great at it. And they had drama classes in high school, but it wasn't sexy. So you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really understand. So it wasn't a dream, you know what I mean? But I was always a fool. I was always getting in trouble, on the verge of getting in trouble in church, in Sunday school, in math class, English class, history class, all my classes. Although I did handle my business with my grades, so that entertainment bug, you know what I mean? That
Right.
comic comedian in me has always been there. But again, from Bakersfield, I didn't know it was a thing that could be a career to where you do it for a living like that. There was no connection from Bakersfield to Hollywood like that, at least not through my avenues that I had. It was like, this baseball takeoff, great, but you going to school, you get an education, and you get a job. You know what I mean? So you don't have to work as hard as I did, is what pops and moms and pops was coming from. But that acting bug was there, man. And it wasn't until I left and went out to college at Cal State Northridge when then I felt like, oh, okay, this could actually maybe be something,
Right. I mean, when I was in school, man, I wasn't much of an athlete other than football, but my mom told me I was the only kid. She said, if you play sports, you don't have to wash dishes. So hell, I tried out for everything. I tried for wrestling. I played line on football, so I even went for the relay, man. My coach, I begged him to let me run a relay. So he let me run relay one race. Man, I gave away the biggest lead we ever had. He like, you ain't ever, if you want to run somewhere, you can run your ass to the locker room.
Right, right,
I didn't get to run again. And then, I went to Skyline High School with, Tom Hanks went, and I wanted to try acting. And I actually had a scholarship to go to a good acting school in LA. My mom
right.
said, you know how to act a fool, you need some knowledge.
Yeah.
Damn that. So she shut that down.
Yeah, same. Our parents, we weren't for that, man. They didn't come from, all that magic Hollywood. Listen, man, we need something tangible we can see, touch, and feel. And that seemed very majestic. And ain't no time for no hocus pocus around this house. You know what I mean? So, but my folks is like, as long as you in school and you handling your business, cool. You know what I mean? So they supported it to that degree, but just make sure you prioritizing school and our goal for you, and then whatever crumbs you able to snatch up on the way with your, little hocus pocus, thespianism, so be it. But handle your business.
I think all our parents had a little Joe Jackson in them.
Yeah, exactly. That's why some folks looking at that like, oh my God, oh man, it must have been horrible. We like, nah, that's Tuesday, that's Sunday afternoon, that's the hard day. That was just par for the course for us.
Okay, man, that was reality. That was our reality. Like they out of touch with it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: being an athlete and a scholar, man, how did you transition from the baseball field to the acting scene? Was it like a play you got in, or you just jumped
Yeah,
up the comedy one day?
like I say, from Bakersfield, there was no opportunity. But when I left Bakersfield to attend Cal State Northridge, they had acting classes, and so it was built a little different. It was acting for TV or film production, so on and so forth. And it's like, okay, I was majoring in math to be a teacher, but like I said, okay, once I had my core classes, let me add this elective. I got to take an elective, added an acting class. And I think it was from there when the bug bit. And then I was around other folks who were like, that's what they were going to do for a living. And you start to see the reach and get to know there's a whole world and there is an avenue and a lane to do, acting on, the television level, or film level, or theater level, it's a real thing. You know what I mean? And so I think it was there I learned like, yo, this is all possible. And I took a class or two outside of school, but then I quickly figured out like, yo, this is the same thing we doing and learning in school. You know what I mean? So there's no special things happening with the acting classes outside of school. So I'm like, yo, I'll just keep an elective, an extra class in the acting field in school on top of my math. Moms and pops, and cool with they keeping their Joe Jackson temperature down with that. and I'm able to chase this hocus pocus. And that went on, start to build relationships and meet other people who were in the department in the film. Met my man Barry Bowles, who we ended up making several smaller independent films. But it was Fat Beach that I ended up auditioning for that I got through. Back then it was called the Dramalog. Now it's Backstage West, to where they list independent productions in there, student films, short films, so on and so forth. And sometimes, bigger things as well. Fat Beach was one of those things that fell on the bigger side. It was an independent feature film. I submitted myself. I ran in, I auditioned again, auditioned again, auditioned again, auditioned again, auditioned again. And on the sixth or seventh time, I end up getting a role, man. And that's how I got Fat Beach. And then from there, it was like, oh, okay. It was sort of a clearer path in the lane to where I could make this, a profession that pays.
Man, I mean, people don't know, man. You don't put in work. You said Fat Beach, and I love that movie, man. That was a great movie. But beyond Fat Beach, man, you did the movie called The Movie. Like you got the title for that. You got Don't Get Caught. Nothing to Lose. I love Nothing to Lose. That was one of my favorite, bro.
Word, that's I really like that.
You did Wifey, The Luau, Adam and Eve, Dead Zone, Three Strikes. It's way more than just that. People got to go to your archive, man. You have a hell of a catalog of performances, a whole lot. Don't sleep on just that. If you love this man and what he brings to the screen, there's a lot out there. Y'all got to search. And I didn't even name the one Basketball 316. You killed it with that one, bro.
Thanks, man.
Would you tell my boy? Man, if this is how life is living for you, I don't want to live like that. I mean, it was a hell of a shoot. I remember that we did that shoot. We had to do it like 3 or 4 times. A hell of a shoot we did in Oakland.
Yeah, man. We had a ball on that one. And all these independent joints, it's like you say, man, I'm pretty much a independent underground dude, man. You have some artists that are on the radio all day, and you have others who are just as big or have a dope core following that is never on the radio, and they're never going to be on an awards show or what have you. And so it's just the underground to where they have their following, they're loved, and I think my career has been that of an independent underground artist. And like you say, you got to go underground, you got to go to the basement to access the jewels, man. And I've just been feeling blessed and loved, and I just dive into the journey and accept it, you know what I mean? And it's been great, man. But yeah, we made a handful of films that people really dig and enjoy that are off the radar.
They on the radar, bro. They just gotta get getting this reception. They're there, bro. Tell you they're there. Now, let me ask you this $1 million question. I need you to describe this for me. The first time that you saw South Beach, yourself on the screen, what was it like, and where was you, and who was you with? What was that moment like?
South Beach, man. that I don't even know if I could put it in words, bro, because it was so magical. And that was the hocus pocus, because we had a premiere for Fat Beach that was like, it was star-studded. You know what I mean? It was in Hollywood Boulevard. It was at the Man Chinese. And, all these celebrities who I look up to, I mean, as far as, entertainers and rappers and, you know what I mean? It was Keith Sweat there, Coolio and all these you know, all these people. And so it was just, I'm from Bakersfield, dog. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then, you know, I got class tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So to be there and have the red carpet rolled out for me, and these folks watch this film and laugh so hard, and it's on this huge screen, man. I don't even know if I can put in words the feeling of how that felt as a young man back then, um, from this small country town to where you don't even think like that. You can't do that from here. That don't go there. You know what I mean? And so now here we are. And I remember my moms and pops was there, and it was just it was just such an amazing feeling, such a God feeling, so exciting, so magical, and and it was just sort of an out of body experience, man. I honestly, you know, I've never really thought about that at the moment. You know, I felt that. I've never been asked that question. You feel like wow, but I've never tried to put in words, you know, what it felt like, man. But it's just an amazing feeling to go from, you know, this little kid, you know, growing up in Bakersfield to now at this premiere where you're the star of the film and it's showing on this huge screen on Hollywood Boulevard. It was crazy, dog. It was crazy.
For those that don't know, Bakersfield is a little place on the map between Oakland and LA, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
For the great spot. You're gonna sweep by, you know, right before the desert. It's right before the desert, right on the edge of the desert, you know. So after premiere and everything, you mentioned you had to go back to class. What was school like from there? I mean, you're no longer the kid that played baseball or act. You be hooks now. You've changed.
You know,
what was it like?
Well, you know, from the release of that movie, you know, people were reaching out. You know what I mean? Agents were reaching out. Companies were calling about deals. We want to do this. We want to do that. You know, managers who managed, you know, shoot, huge actors at the time, from Wesley Snipes to Mark Wahlberg, and so, you know, things were happening. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I had a math test. You know what I'm saying? So it was that as well. And so I think after that semester, I think I had got like a holding deal, maybe another film. And back in the days, you do a holding deal. I think mine was with Paramount TV, to where they say, we don't know what we want to do, but we really love and dig you. So we're going to give you this set amount of money, and then we're going to figure out a pilot to do with you. And so it was so much happening. It was justified for me to like, okay, I'm making this film. I don't remember if it was High School High or what it may have been, but I'm making this film. I got this holding deal. I got these other offers. And it justified me taking a semester off to go get these coins, because if nothing else happened, I would have, you know, in this one deal, enough money to finish my college. You know what I mean? And so, you know, the Joe Jackson, my mom and dad, they took the Joe Jackson level down. They like, yeah, okay, boy, that makes sense. That makes sense. I see what you're saying. We skip one semester, and then we pay for all the semesters. Okay. Don't let me tell you trying to do some shit, pull some shit over. No, so they understood, and they were good with it. And actually, man, you know, it just kept snowballing, you know, and snowballing it from Fat Beach to High School High to Beloved with Oprah Winfrey, Danny Glover, to you know, and all these things, to the Eve show. And then my independent foundation, like you said, Nothing to Lose, was a film we made for $100,000. It made $4.2 million. Then they stopped reporting to us how much it was.
That's enough. That's enough.
So, all these things start to happen, and so I just kept, and I was able to keep working, and so that sort of took center lane, you know. And the idea was to, you know, if it ever, you know, stopped going, then, you know, you go back, pick back up, finish school, and have to fall back on, man. But I've been blessed that uh, I've been pretty much working consistently. I know, some people are like, where you been? Well, it's always doing things behind the scenes or
Uh-huh.
making these independent films that, you're not going to see unless you go to the basement. Um, but I've been blessed, man.
So, what year did you finish school?
Who said I finished school?
I mean, this college you was going to when you started your acting career.
No,
When did you finish?
I never finished. I never finished, man. I've been working and working and working and working ever since. And every time I was like, well, I'm gonna go back and finish. I got another job, and then I was go back and finish. I got two more jobs, and so I never finished, man. I never finished because the idea was when you stop working, you go back and knock it out, and I've been blessed to be working consistently since then.
That treadmill keep moving, baby. That's a wonderful thing. Because some of us finish college and don't have nothing to do but
Yeah,
finish college. So
yeah,
that's not a bad thing always, bro.
yeah.
Now, I'm gonna actually this perfect moment. After the success of Fat Beach, and then you get the opportunity and to do the three strikes thing. How did the three strikes opportunity even come? And how did you feel it would be after Fat Beach was so successful, and then three years you get this opportunity and working with E40 and this? How did it all come about?
Well, it was, it's funny because in recent this past year, like, every actor in the world was like, yeah, that was my role. So apparently there wasn't no other actors available, and then it's like, oh, let's get Brian Hook. But no, I auditioned, man. I think originally it was written for. My understanding with Pooh, um, Snoop Dogg and Chris Tucker, you know what I mean? And then it ended up being myself and Faison Love in those roles. And I think, Chris had skyrocketed to the moon, you know what I mean? So he was unavailable because he wasn't available. And then I think they were just looking for the right person. So they're auditioning people and thinking about other people. And then I end up going in and reading. And ultimately, they cast me for the part. And so I had to go in and audition and get it. And again, I think Pooh just sort of saw just that authenticity, just that realness, you know what I mean, that I brought to the character. And there was no reaching, no shucking and jucking for jokes, just staying true to the situation. Because Three Strikes is one of those things that is funny when you watch. With some things are not funny when they happening, but a year later, you and your cousin look back and y'all laugh. It wasn't funny. Hey, remember the day you got the belt, and then the belt hit my hand, and then Daddy came in. It's funny. Now, but at the time, you were terrified, and I think Three Strikes was that situation to where it was so serious. But it's funny if it's not true. It's funny if you're looking on. But to Rob, it was some real shit happening, and so I think I just brought that to the role, and that's why the film just keeps going. I have people all over the world. It's like, I've seen Three Strikes in French, and Africa, all corners of the world, man. And I'm surprised all the time, and they never let it go. It's just it's a classic, and I think I was talking to my daughter, and we were at Split Star's 55th birthday party, and some of the celebrities and artists are there were coming up to me, and when people see me, a lot of times they just embrace me. They're like, yo, and they're like, yo, you didn't tell me you know him. Like, I don't know them. You know what I mean? But I think people love that film and my work so much. It has a nostalgic feel to it, and it reminds them of a time that was different but dope, whatever they was going through and wherever they was at. And so when they see me, it just go back to there, you know what I mean? And I understand what it is, and they understand. And she was like, oh, okay, because people approach me and show me love, like, you know what I mean, we family, and like they know me, but because it just brings that nostalgia of the Three Strikes and all those films and those times and those moments to where shit was different. Movies was different. You know, the way we moved was different. You know what I mean? Homeless was homeless. They wasn't unhoused. You shit. It was that's unhoused mean without a home. Without a home mean like you know what I mean? Now you can't say shit, you can't do shit. It was, you know, and I think people remember, you know what I mean, a time to where it was like, yo, and that's the effect that Three Strikes had. It just has never gone away, man. And so it's it's a classic.
I mean, you got to take the timing of the movie. I mean, we have a young B Hooks in here. You had E40. You
Mhm.
had your dad, George Wallace. What was it like working with somebody like George Wallace and you starting and he's been there for a minute? The chemistry of that.
Amazing. I was, you know, I'm a dude that I'm always, you know, I never come in with an ego or a sense of air. Like I'm a fan, you know what I mean? I'm still a fan. We working, we doing our things, but that's George Wallace, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy. You know, we had Monique in it, you know what I mean? And we had Epps came through and did a cameo and you know, and all these dope people, even DJ Pooh, you know, I was DJ when I was younger, so I was very well of DJ Pooh, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was all these, you know, legendary folks in it that I was a fan of, and I was just that. I was a fan of them, you know, and we started to work. We were working, but come on, man, George Wallace, that's you know, that's iconic, and you saw what he did on screen. He brought it.
Brought it, man. I mean, he brought it so hard. I stole one of his lines. It didn't work for me. I got on your favorite cologne. No, it didn't.
It didn't work for you, man.
It didn't work for me. It didn't
All
work for me.
right. I'm right on that
uh, yeah, that was man. Like I said, that was, like you said, that is a classic, man. It's gonna be hard to top some of that. And the chemistry, like you said, with everybody in the movie, man, it was just gelled. And it was at a time where, like you said, other people weren't available. You were, and you seized the moment. You did it
one.
wonderfully, bro. Like I said, that is a timeless movie that you never get tired of watching.
Right. Yep. 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 Man, and it just lives on. You know, um, people, you know, been looking for where they can watch it. So I'm dropping that now. We have this, you know, exclusive thing to let everybody know within the next few days, actually, once I can say it, exactly where they can finally watch the film, get the film, and all that good stuff. And also possibly re-releasing it in theaters soon. So
And I'm telling you this, I'm definitely gonna go again, man, because that is a classic, man. I used to have the DVD, but I don't have no DVD players no more.
yeah,
Yeah, and I didn't have a bootleg either, bro. I wouldn't bought it. I get the bootleg. But you know, we don't have DVD players no more. That's crazy.
yeah.
Man, technology and time. So
Well,
how did opportunity come? How did opportunity come back with Eve from the
Eve,
screen to
same thing, man. You know, just from my works, you know what I mean? I'm recognizing my works and, you know, thinking, you know, dude's talented. And then with TV, it's different. Movies, it's like, you know, they sort of let the producers and director lead as far as who they want to cast. With TV, everybody and their grandma got to okay you before they put your ass on TV. So it's a whole lot of folks who have to say yes and okay before you get on TV. And so I auditioned several times, but you got to audition for the casting director maybe once or twice. You got to audition for the writer and the casting director. Then you have a producer session. Then you have a network session, and then you know what I mean. You have the heads of the studio session, and those all might be once or twice, and then you know 4 or 5 auditions later, you know what's so cold is with the TV game when you get to the fourth, fifth, sixth session to where they about to show you to the studio heads because ultimately after 4, 5, 6, I think it was Les Moonves at the time. Then we had to go and read for him, who was the head of the head of the head. And so they do, you know, they do your test deal. So they do the contract with you as if you got the part, but you ain't have the part. It's between you and one or possibly two other people because they have to give this, studio head choices. And
Yeah.
so you get to see what your life might look like. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the numbers of what you're gonna get paid weekly, how many episodes, and so you adding up, you all in the seven figures. But if they don't choose you, you take your ass right back. Go get that 4.99 pizza around the corner, and your life go back to shit. You understand me? So it's an emotional thing, man, for an actor to have to see all that and go back and forth with attorneys, and then they don't pick you. And so I had to test, and it was you go in, and it was me and one other person, man, and ultimately I got chose. You know what I mean? To be on the show. We shoot the pilot. That's when they shoot. Every season they shoot pilots, and then they might shoot, I don't know, 30 pilots, but only 10 of them they send to series. So even when you shoot the pilot, it's like, okay, great, but they still got to choose out of those 30 shows which handful they're gonna, green light. And so ultimately we shot the pilot, they green lit it, but on the guy side, because you was three girls and three guys on the Eve show, all the guys were replaced except for me. And so we got this new cast and flash forward, and then we ended up doing 3 seasons of Eve, 3 or 4 seasons, man. So that was a blessing because that was that TV money hit different because it's like every week, you know what I mean? Like, boom, you don't have to call nobody, you don't have to ask nobody nothing.
Yeah, that's a blessing right there, man. When that guaranteed money coming in and you pretty much know how long it's gonna be and all that good stuff, and you have that longevity. That's a big difference. That's a good thing right there. To have that and to have that security, you know, that security knowing that, I have a job tomorrow, not like because you do a movie, you do a job, when your job over, you got to start all over again. You got to get new employment. But with the TV money, you just show up every day. So I can understand that comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a different kind of, it's a different kind of different, man. But it's all a blessing, and I always understood that it was a blessing, and I never took any day for granted. I understood that things change, and tomorrow the show might be no more, and but it was just a blessing. I was on a TV show driving up onto a lot and going and acting, and the show was airing on TV, and people were enjoying it, and I'm from Bakersfield, bro. You know what I mean? Just this small town, and it don't happen too often like that for anybody. So
So now that you have become this character that everybody loves, we look forward to you on the Eve show. I think I'm not saying this because I have you on my show. I'm saying it and I'm a fan, and I was in a little. But see, my role in basketball 316 was small. You blink, you miss me. I had
yeah,
two little roles. My roles were real little, but being it, you had the success you're rolling. What in the industry that's keeping you there? I mean, have you aspired to produce and do anything on the other side of the camera or with the film industry? What else have you done?
I think it's my independent filmmaking that has been my foundation, and it's me getting out in those smaller projects that we talk about, those underground, so to speak, projects that has sustained me and been my foundation. And early on, my buddy, who I said I met in school when I was in that film department and acting department, we made a small film called Q. When we finished, the movie was absolutely horrible, but it, it was 90 minutes and it was funny. And so that was coming on the heels of Fat Beach. And Fat Beach did decent at the box office for what it was, but on DVD, it broke all kind of records. It went crazy through the roof. And so this mid-level mom and pops distribution company, you know, they all know and see those numbers. So they were like, we'll take a chance on this movie Q. So this movie we made for $14,000 went on to make $800,000. And from there, we figured out a little niche to where we could exist and do what we want, when we want, how we want. And it came about not because we were oh so brilliant or this or that, but we just sort of accidentally on purpose stepped out and took a chance and just found this new world. And it was from there you got into Nothing to Lose, the Luau, you know, Cue the Movie, which was the first one, and all these independent joints that we did that we're able to build the foundation. And, you know, that sort of happened at a time, so it wasn't, you know, really cool to like, why are you doing, you know, independent films and, they're not studio films. But you flash forward to now, just such an independent time to where if you're not doing independent films, then, 99% of us are in trouble. So it was just a blessing to get those jewels and know-how early on to where now I could sort of control my destiny with these films and make a film when I want, how I want, with who I want, and be able to make a living irregardless of if a studio ever wants or chooses to do a film with me again. So it's been an incredible blessing, man. And going and doing those independent films, being behind the camera has been everything, man, everything. It has truly sustained me. And it's what I tell people today, getting into the industry, who want to act, this, that, and the other. Find a group of people who are like-minded, who are filmmakers, and you guys go and create stuff, because there's so many outlets and so many opportunities for independent filmmakers now that didn't exist. There was a small window back then, but we had a sort of plate and a stake in really opening up that lane, and now it's as wide as ever with the new streaming era. And so go make your films. You can't be a one-trick pony. Learn how, or get with a group of filmmakers and go make history, just like we did with Black Ball 360.
Man, I mean, I want to commend you on that, bro. I mean, you're not waiting for the next big script to come. You going to the smaller films and partnering with people and making your own way and doing your own production. I also want to give you a kudos for creating your own production company and working with young filmmakers and actors and stuff, with the education class you're doing with acting and mentorship for inner city youth. A lot of people turn their back and keep moving, but you went back and you helped other people and continue to help people, man. And we need more people like that. And that's the stuff that other people don't talk about or highlight. And that shows your character, not the character you play, but the character that you are as a person. And people need to know that. And I know you don't brag about it, but I'm going to brag about it because I look up to you and I love you, brother, and I love what you do in the community, man. That needs to be recognized. Real
Thank you. I appreciate you so much, man, for mentioning that. And it's probably the most exciting thing and aspect to everything that we're doing, because I will say, the independent filmmaking and the business can be exhausting at times, and it has sort of gotten mundane. And this Left the Bang Entertainment, which is my youth program, my mentorship, is has rejuvenated me and made the whole process exciting again, and gave it purpose. You know what I mean? Because if we just doing something to try to make the most money, that's great, but what else? You know what I mean? What's your why? Why are you doing that? And Left the Bang Entertainment allowed me to get back to my roots of, as I was going to school to be a math teacher, to work with youth and kids, which is what I love. My mom's a teacher, my brother's a teacher, my sister, is a counselor teacher. And so, that's in me. And so with this, I'm allowed to exercise my gift of entertainment and filmmaking and acting, and combine that with my love for teaching the youth. And they get to meet cool people, you know what I mean, in the program. Anthony Anderson, JB Smooth, and all kind of people in front and behind the camera, Craig Robinson. And it's just, it's really exciting for them. They get to see that they can reach the stars literally, and they're not confined by the 2 or 3 blocks that they live on that might not look promising. And so I try to give them a taste of something else and sort of motivate them and get them to understand like you could dream as far as you want to dream, and while it's exciting to chop it up with Craig Robinson from The Office and JB Smoove and Anthony Anderson, we also have that little mentorship going on at the same time to where it's exciting and they're learning, man. And just being able to pinch off with every project I do a piece that to go and fuel them, man, is no greater feeling. You know what I mean? I'm not just doing it to see how much I can win. My victory brings energy and insight and understanding and help to kids who need it. And it's just Left to Bang Entertainment is just it has really given me a why that has fueled everything that I do moving forward. I lost your voice, your sound.
We'll be back right back. We'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. More B Hicks. Quick commercial break, 1 minute. And we'll be right back. It's more inside on the man, the legend, your guy, my guy, B Hicks. We'll be right back.
GC Radio is giving away to some of its lucky listeners Beats by Dre earbuds. That's right. Beats by Dre earbuds. It's no cost to its listeners to register. Just go to gcradiohub.com and enter the free raffle. So don't hesitate. Go to gcradiohub.com, click on the earbuds, register, and cross your fingers, because you could be one of the lucky listeners. These earbuds are priced at $169, and you can win a pair for free. That's right, free of charge to you. Just enter the raffle at gcradiohub.com and stay tuned to our live broadcast, The Cuzzin Chief Show, Afro Beats with King Glow, Uncut After Dark with Freaky and Friends, the Mississippi King on the Southern Soul Superstar Station. Stay tuned to any of those live shows and listen out for your name being called. At GC Radio, you have to get connected to stay connected. At gcradiohub.com.
And we back with more Brian Hooks and your Cuzzin Chief Show, GC Radio 106.1 digital dial. And B, I really, man, that's touching what you're saying, because believe it or not, I went to school and I got a degree in marketing, and I did all right in football until I got hurt. And I said, that's enough of that. I was my old Joe Jackson. I'm enough of that. I got hurt. But with the radio thing, I didn't want to be a radio personality. I had no admiration. But what made me be a radio personality is that I have great relationships with people. I know Farrell that connected us. I know my boy that played Captain Saver for E40, Kevin. I know a lot of people in the industry, and I've done a lot of stuff for them with my marketing degree. Work with Jason Kidd and Gary Payton, all those guys. And you get a camaraderie, you get a friendship, you build a relationship with people. And people understand that to make it successful, you don't fake it till you make it. It ain't about who you know, because I know a whole lot of people, but they might say, I don't know your ass, and that don't mean nothing. It's all about the relationships you build, and the stronger the relationships, the easier it is. Mm-hmm. And I'm proud to hear what you're saying about being a mentor program, because doing this radio thing, dude, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. I want to do something that I like, the K100 show. And then that turns to the Cuzzin Chief Show with the entertainers. And then it moved to 13 radio stations, 165 different countries. Mm. We're doing 170 terabytes of data every 30 days. I mean, it's steady rolling. And it's like people that we grew up to. Lenny Williams about to do a countdown on our thing. They got me on the J King from Club Nouveau show. They got me on a Michael Collier show, and he's also on a station. It's just a dream. And what we're doing now is we're reaching out to high schools to teach the kids in the inner schools how to build radio stations, how to be a part of them. We took education and made it a pre-course where they have to speak, they have to write for English, they have to know math to do the scheduling like a program director. It's not just jumping on and recording shows, but they'll be able to see the fruit of their works and get the community to engage. They can sell cheap advertising where everybody in school is going to listen and the community get involved. And then hopefully we can help make a difference with that. So that's one of the things that we're doing over here at GC Radio. It looked like we lost Brian Hook. So hopefully the internet to be our friend, we can get him back this shortly. That's one of the things that GC Radio is doing. And I'm loving what he's doing. So we want to model what he's doing so that we can reach the inner roof. And maybe we can partner with B with some of the stuff we're doing to make a bigger impact, So these are the things and the people that we like to be involved with, um, so that we can make a difference. It's not about what we've done, it's about what we can do for others. And, my dad told me that his success was about his banking account. It was how well he prepared me to stand on my own feet. And that's how B and I see it. Our success is based on how well we can help others that is less fortunate or didn't have what we have to get on their feet and do what they need to do. So, I honor Mr. Hook for what he's doing and continuing success with that and hoping he reach some other neighborhoods because he's a very influential person. People know who B is and they love him. So what I was saying was going to be is that, we're doing something similar with the radio stations and going out to schools and teaching them how to start state radio stations, and we build around education. So they have to go to English and learn English because they got to be able to speak. You
Right.
need your math because the program directors got to do the commercials and do the scheduling and all of this
Right.
stuff. And it'll all be pre-recorded. And they can go out in the neighborhood and sell advertising local businesses for maybe $15, $25 slots. And that way they can get a new craft and give them something other to do than to fight, gang bang, have kids, and just mischief. We're trying to bring life so they can see the fruit of their labors as they go forward. So hopefully, man, if there's some room, we can partner with you and a couple other people we're working with in multiple cities to do this, because this is also dealing with computers, a stimulus package. They can go after grants to bring more money into school, which will help these kids. It's not a money bag because you already know when you're dealing with schools, they ain't paying you no money.
Right.
They ain't paying no big money. So it got to be for the love of what you're doing
Right.
and helping another generation group of people. This is definitely not a money bag because trust me, the board of education ain't gonna let it be one. That's for the board. If you ain't on the board, you ain't gonna see the money.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's such a big deal to these kids, man. And this ex-police chief said the craziest things about how they, I'll say it in short, able to predict the future of a child at it said something crazy at like what did he say? Like at 6 years old.
Third grade.
Or yeah, maybe, and know that they're going to be headed, you know what I mean, either to jail or prison or whatever. And it's about their geographical location, the number of gangs they have to walk through and by to get to school. You know what I mean? Whether the family, the parents, the father, the mother was in. But they said the one thing that deters that and trumps all of that is mentorship and them having things like your program that you guys say you're doing to where you're giving them life and, the film, The Left to Bang. So those little things matter so much, man. So I would absolutely, however, you know what I mean, you want to do it or any way I can help, you know what I mean, we do something together. If I can jump in on what y'all doing, man, I'm in, man, because that's there's no greater high than just giving without expecting anything back to these youth. It's amazing, man.
And like I said, man, I'm down here today in Big Spur, Mississippi, because I have to resident in Mississippi and California in the Bay. And just to see the help to some of these kids out here, man, is awesome, man. Just the potential and the talent that they have. And that rejuvenates me. I don't get paid for that, but I get rewarded because I don't know about most people. When I look in the mirror, I like my reflection, and that means something to me. Some people don't look; they go past the mirror. They don't even look in the mirror and they brushing their teeth and washing their face. But I gotta like who I see when I wake up in the morning because we're blessed to have life. We live each day, we die once. So each day we live, we need to do something fulfilling. And I try to make me a better person to tomorrow and the day than I was the day before. That's my goal.
Yeah,
I'm not preach,
that's the blessing. I hear you 100%, and that's why I say I think people If you know, you know, but those others, when you give back or push into something, whatever you're passionate about, and just give without expecting anything in a return, there is no greater feeling, man. There's no greater feeling. And I promise you, and I challenge anyone and everyone who's not doing it to try. And those who do, you know, but it's just amazing, man. It's just amazing. It's bigger than any amount of money or check you could have been paid or any of that.
B, I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm sure this question a lot of people have asked you, but we got to ask this one.
Mm-hmm.
What advice you have for somebody inspiring to act or direct or getting in the business of entertainment right now?
I think now it's so wide open and it's so available to folks because again, I think the streaming to where it's just this constant need for content that it would be the best time for you to get in to where in the past it has just been so limited and so policed. But I will say one, take a class because that's going to set you apart as an actor from everyone else who just saying that they want to be an actor. And I think it says a lot to someone who you're approaching or someone, whether it be for a job or a mentorship, that you're already acting and taking it seriously with a class. It doesn't have to be no expensive, whatever class, just find a small group in whatever city you're in. Maybe even at the JC there, they usually have classes you could take and be exercising that. And the second thing is what I mentioned before is find a group of like-minded people who want to act, also filmmakers, director, writer, cameraman, and go out and create small, cool, smart things so that you can exercise and have tape to show of you actually doing things as you grow. So one, be independent minded while you waiting and climbing and on the journey. And two, keep an acting class so folks know that you're serious and you can learn the things that you don't know. It's all available, it's all accessible. And if you look and look good, you can find ways to do it to where it doesn't break your wallet or your purse.
Wow. Amazing. Now I'm gonna ask you another question, and I don't know if anybody asked you this, but how do you feel about AI in the film industry now, or your craft? Because AI is affecting everything now.
Yeah.
What is your take on that?
Crazy, man, and it has to be policed. Because initially when we going on the big strike, they wanted to be able to, you do one thing and they could take your face and put it anywhere and everywhere forever. And that's insane for them to even.
So they take your face and your voice and they one for 100. I'll pay you for one, but I'm gonna make 100.
Exactly. And so that's insane. And for them even to ask or expect to do that is insane. But it also put up the antennas like, wait a minute, if you're okay doing that, paying me the $10 for the one thing, but using it for, hundreds and hundreds of times, that's crazy. So that's why we got into that thing to where there has to be some boundaries laid. But I think it's going to be tricky, man, because, as it, goes on and on, it's going to be more and more and more difficult to distinguish what's AI and what's real. And I think even now, if, you're unexpectedly scrolling, you're watching some stuff that's not real and don't know it. But I think as time goes on, it's probably going to be very, very, very undetectable. And that's clearly an issue. But I think creativity trumps all that, man. And you being able to tap into your core creatively, although it might be somebody who looks like you or who sort of was funny like you or who plays sports like you, there's only one you. And your life and your experiences and your reality, when you're able to bring that into what you're creating and your roles, there's really no way for anyone to tap into that. You know what I'm saying? And so, no one knows what you're going to do next. You know what I mean? And so if you stay creative, I think you'll be able to live amongst the, the insanity of AI. But it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a lot of battles again as it continues to progress, because it's a very crazy thing.
And it's very interesting. B, I don't want to kidnap you all day, man. We can sit and chop for hours, man. You're the big homie. Do me a favor though. Let the people know what can we expect next from you? I mean, what's coming up next? New movies, more productions you got going on. What's next?
I've been so blessed, man, and there's so much going on that I know I'm gonna forget something, as I tell you right there. But I have a movie that's streaming now, independent film called The Second Time Around. It's a rom-com that's very cool, very dope, very funny. That's out. I have Adam and Eve that was released a couple of years ago. It's a drama. It's a love story with a different ending that people are really, really loving. That's doing well, and it's on Tubi right now, performing. I just finished the film. We're deciding where we're going to place it right now, so it's not just finished. Called A Proposition, and that one is sort of a drama thriller, and it might be one of the strongest films that I've done to date, and I know people are gonna love it. I had a small screening for it over at Heartbeat Studios, and they went crazy. So I'm excited about that, which will probably have a hard date as soon as within the next month. And then I also just finished in post-production on a rom-com called The Lake House with a bunch of dope new actors who you may recognize their face, you may not. They're incredible actors. It's one of those feel-good love stories. Myself, Tony Rock came through and got down with me, blessed me, and so we playing against each other in the love story. And so that's finished. And then with that, I'm also have some really special things coming up with the film Three Strikes, and that nostalgia. So that's in the works. I'm created a show with Bentley Evans, who did Martin, the Jamie Foxx show. So we have created something for myself, along with some his really dope team of writers. And so that's happening as well. And it's just a lot of dope things happening. I would also say to people, man, there's no big engine behind me. There's no huge pot of financing behind me. It's just I'm willing to get up every day, do the work, wear 2, 3, 4, 5 hats, whatever I have to do that day, and bet on myself. And so you could do everything that I'm doing. Like, yo, how's he doing? He got all these projects. You could do it too, man. You just have to be willing to actually do the work, put your money where your mouth is, if you truly believe in yourself, and if you truly want to do what you say you want to do and be in this business and in entertainment, man. So it's out there to get. You just got to go get it.
B, man, you're gonna have to write me a little script, man. I can come on, I could be like Lurch or something. You rang. Big Rob, like big flavor, something, man. The parking lot attendant or something, man. You give me a little cameo, man. I go like, he went that way.
I got you, dog.
I think I qualify for that. He went that way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep practicing. Wait on the script, man. I'm gonna keep practicing. When you give him like right or left, just tell me right or left. I'm ready for that one.
I got you, man. We're gonna make it happen.
Man, I thank you, man. Let the people know your social media websites where they keep in contact with you. Also with your movement with the youth. If you guys have a foundation for how they can give, how we can contribute. And like I said, whatever we can do to help, bro, for real, let me know, because I'm always about their youth. I used to work as a probation officer, and I stayed in juvenile because I love working with kids, and that's always been a passion. Before that, I used to work as a big brother program. Well, anything around kids moving, my heart broke, and it's not about the money, it's about the movement. As long as it's real and it's genuine, I'm in.
Right.
But let us know your social media, your website, how we can get involved and help out as well.
TheBrianHooks.com. TheBrianHooks.com for my IG, Facebook, and for all that fails, just TheBrianHooks.com is my website as well. www.TheBrianHooks.com, and that'll sort of direct you to wherever you want to be. That'll sort of direct you to the cities to where I'm performing at, because also out on tour right now. Got some really cool dates coming up here, and been on the road all year, performing in London, UK, July 16th at the Top Secret Comedy Lounge there. So my socials, man, thebrianhooks.com. Reach out to me, holler at me. I will get back with you. And that's what's up. And then my foundation, Left to Bang Entertainment, can also be tapped into through my website as well. And we're just looking for youth who are looking for us and just trying to build and do cooler things. Right now, it's just me. So I'm stacking it. It's doing as much as I can, as often as I can. But the goal is to be able to have the program run, consistently from month to month, and just keep growing it as to this hub to where kids can come and be cool and get energy and get help and hear, amazing stories and insight on how to win. And so, man, that's everything.
I'm about to connect you with one of my guys, man. He's in Sacramento. He has a school of arts, and he's trying to do something like that with the kids and get them to be musicians and learn the different instruments and recording and stuff like that, and offer the same opportunity. So it's strength in numbers, man. You got to get like-minded people to get the project and get it really rolling. So, he's out there. And I definitely want to see the synergy with that. And I didn't know you was on the road doing your comedy again, man. You got to call me in the morning so I can let these people know, hey, B's coming to your town. Help them get these tickets, because we like to wait till the last minute. We get that pre-jump.
Yeah,
that's for the UK, man. That's 43% of our listening viewers on GC Radio.
Wow, well,
that's our biggest market.
Out and get folks out. It's my first time over there, man. You know what I mean? And so maybe you need to come on over there with me, man.
And hit me on the morning show. I'd love to go over with you. If you give me the morning show, we get them over there and let me know so I can I already got my passport. I just need to pack my bag so I can go that way. Hey, B, man, it's a pleasure, man, having you here. We got to have you back again. And like I said, man, let me know about the foundation movement so we can do what we can to help you keep it moving, man. Because like I said, without helping the next generation, we stop our moving, our progress. We move and grow with our youth. So we got to help the next people out. We got to help them out. But thank you so much, B. Any final words you want to say to our people before we tap out of here?
No, man. Y'all follow me on the socials. Holler at me. I holler back. I appreciate you having me here, man. We got to do it again.
All right, man. For those out there listening, hey, you know what I say at the end of the day? We hope we leave you better and receive you with a smile on your face and grace wherever you go. Remember, for that total eargasm experience is GC Radio. Get the app on the Android store, and we're here for you 24/7. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Me, D Hooks, we out here. Thank y'all.
Peace.
I called in sick to work for a radio station's birthday party. Before you judge me, hear me out. GC Radio Hub is turning 2, and they're not just any radio station. They connect the real world with gaming worlds like OpenSims, IMVU, 5M, Second Life, and GTA, to just name a few. The 3-day streaming party they are throwing is the most insane anniversary party ever. I'm obsessed with their old school hip hop and R&B, Southern soul, Afro beats, gospel, jazz, and comedy shows. So when they said birthday explosion party, I called in sick. My boss thinks I have food poisoning, but I'm here vibing with the coolest people in radio. Check out some of the line. It's totally worth it. Day 26, Force MD's Lenny Williams, Raspberry Sky, Chocolate Tie, Stacey Adams, Levered Experience, Karen White, Troop Surface, the East Side Boys, and many more to come. If you're into music, check out GCRadioHub.com. Once you find your people, everything else can wait. The only way to stay connected is to get connected with GC Radio.